Robinson. Fighting out of the blue corner from Omaha, Nebraska, here is the acclaimed 3-division world champion and 2-division undisputed champion of the world, Terrence Bud Crawford.
A lot of trash talk between these two fighters. Now it's time to put up or shut up.
All what's left is for the first bell to go. That's all we need now, because the build-up is getting ridiculous.
So a capacity crowd here for this one. We've been waiting a long time for this matchup. Here we go. Great to have you with us for this all-action affair. We expect big things, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed. That counter shot lands. Got out of the way of that right hook. And he scores with the counter. No rest for the weary. We'd like to see more jabs. If you're a counter puncher, then basically you do the counter attack. You let them get their punch off first, and then you answer in kind.
Counter puncher is my favorite kind of fighter. A good counter puncher, they're the people that make the history of our sport.
You gotta like what you're seeing as we reach the halfway point of this round.
Perfectly.
Do you believe this? Bud Crawford just got knocked down. As you can see, it was a hit to the head that did it. Let's watch it again.
Even I've got to see that.
1, 2, 3, 4. Give me your blood.
Well, they're back up, Johnny, but now what do they do to get back into this fight?
Somebody can smell blood here. They can smell blood. They've got to be smart. Get in there. And boom, back in the same spot again. It happened once. You got away with it. You can do it again.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Not the best of rounds with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Crawford in that last round. That'll be a 10-8 round for sure with the knockdown.
I love the response.
There's the bell for round 2. Let's see how he bounces back here after getting dropped in the last round.
What a knockdown. 1 minute. You need 1 hour to get over a shot like that. Now it's down to conditioning. Now it's down to mental strength and preparation. It's how you are going to deal with this.
Good counter punch. When are we going to see a jab from these two? Punch, counter punch. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. One punch could change the entire complexion of this fight. They exchange punches. Nice counter. This counter fighter believes in the anything you can do, I can do better. They'll let you throw a punch first, and they'll answer you and usually hit you harder.
They have got great ring IQ. Counter punches are the best.
Did you see that? Sugar Ray Robinson just got rocked. Disaster averted.
Got caught sleeping on the job. What do? You step back, steady yourself, recompose yourself, then boom, back into it. But do not make those mistakes. This is the wrong place to fall asleep.
He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. He threw a punch and just got countered. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Robinson in that last round. He is down big time on the scores. Let's get it started in round 3. After that last round, something has got to change.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Good counter punching. Nice counter shot. Fantastic punch. Nice counter shot. By the way, the connect percentages have to be off the charts. That jab misses. Halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
That hook was thrown with some bad intentions. Blistering hand speed from both of these outstanding lightweights.
I've never seen a fighter so fast in my life. How do you deal with this? You gotta hope they run out of steam.
A perfect counter lands. That one lands. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talking about Robinson in that last round. And a round that seemed like eternity for them. There's the bell for round 4. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you. And that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
Perfect counter shot. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Throws the jab, but it doesn't score. You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. His stamina is off the charts. Think of holding on here for a minute. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. Catch and shoot. So much for boxing. This is a fist fight. Those counter punches have to hurt. Talk about Robinson in that last round. Talk about a one. Here we go in round 5. Who's going to land the first big shot? Coming off that great round, let's see if they can build on momentum here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
Some sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you've got to outthink them. You've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little Fagin and pickpocket them.
Beautiful counter punch. He blocks that jab. Holding nothing back here in the round. Tough to be a judge in this fight as both fighters have had their big moments. Oh my goodness, Johnny! Robinson got buzzed there. He's in trouble. How did they survive that?
It's been a tough round so far. It's been a tough round. What will they do? What do they tell him when he goes back to the corner? How are they going to get through this?
Beautiful counter shot. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. You can see the heavy breathing, but that's not slowing him down. They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Robinson in that last round. Well, he is glad to have heard that bell. Let's start the sixth. Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him. Tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
Well, Johnny, you know, in the lightweight division, they've got fast hands, so get ready to see some lightning.
Sometimes when you have a fight, the best way to beat a fight is not give them what they want. Because they want to get you there. They want you to stand there toe-to-toe with them and have a tell. That's what they do in the gym every single day of the week. What you've got to do is you've got to frustrate them as they set their shots. Get out of the way. And they'll get so angry, so frustrated because they can't work.
We're at the halfway point, and both of these fighters know the round is still up for grabs.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Can't score with that jab. Punch output. Thought there might be more action here. The only fear you have with this fighter is has he punched himself out? Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talking about Crawford in that last round. How much cardio was put in for this fight? It may come down to that.
There's a lot on the...
And there's the bell for round 7. How much is left in their tank after last round?
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you've cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
How about that time counter shot? This fighter's certainly not going to out-throw their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
That power might be the do or die. That power might be the equalizer.
Being exerted here. Nice exchanges from both men in this round.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
Well done with that counter shot. He's putting the pedal to the metal, but has to be careful that he doesn't run out of gas. He just gets out of the way of that right uppercut. There's a counter shot. That counter punch caught him clean. His stamina is off the charts. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Crawford's legs are all over the place. Let's talk about Crawford in that last round. Now you start wondering how much work these two fighters did in. And they're back at it again here in round 8. How much do they have left in the tank after that last round?
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these...
Cue up the replay machine. I have got to see that again.
That's lights out right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come to me.
They're back on their feet, but how long will they stay there?
Some fighters, when this happens, this can be heartbreaking. Some fighters, it makes them angry. They want to get back into the mix again. I want to know, what sort of character are we looking at here?
What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
Halfway through the round, and I think we all know who's winning here.
Perfect game plan. The thing is, can anybody figure out what to do to change this? It's a perfect start.
And this fight is over. What a knockout headshot. Let's watch it again. And they knew it when...
Listen to me. Are you okay? You're out of there.
You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. A knockout victory and one of the biggest surprises of the year.